Hello, and welcome back to Sunset Salutations. We're going to begin with an opening today from Dan Harris's 10% Happier. Dan has been at a retreat. He began struggling immensely with performance anxiety and could not manage to find the breath during his meditation. In our last few days with him at the retreat, he's had a breakthrough of sorts and has been able to find choiceless awareness, which has been revelatory for him. We're going to join him on day 6 of the retreat, and here's what he has to say about it. I wake up and the world is still magical. I'm becoming almost frighteningly alert. My senses are heightened, like in the movies when a mortal starts turning into a vampire. Meditation is still easy. I start by doing a round of breath focus, which is like filling a hot air balloon. Once the mind is fully inflated with concentration, I just let it fly into choiceless awareness. Urge to scratch. Image of a row of baboons sitting on bales of hay. Thought of the illicit apple I'm hiding in my room. Even bad stuff doesn't seem to really get to me. I can feel myself playing with the cape of pain draped over my back. I'm investigating it without letting it truly bother me. At lunch, I realize that I've now become one of those people who chews with his eyes shut. Eating mindfully, I actually put the fork down between bites rather than hunting around the plate while I'm still swallowing. As a result, I stop eating when I'm full, as opposed to stuffing my face until I'm nearly sick as I usually do. I spot a guy on the other side of the room who seems to be enjoying his meal immensely. I experience a sudden upsurge of what the Buddhists call mudita, sympathetic joy. It happens once more when I look up and see the 3 women helping one another get the remaining chai out of the big metal pot in which it's served. The afternoon meditation session is a humbling reversion, though. At the end of 45 minutes, I have a massive headache. It's official. The magic is gone. The afternoon meta session leaves me cold. During the last sitting of the day, I am hit with the sickening jolt of restless energy so strong that it feels as if it might leave my limbs palsied. I resort to the one measure that, despite all the preceding difficulties, I have not yet employed. I give up. I open my eyes and sit in the hall, looking around, guiltily. Day 7. Now I'm back to counting the days until I can leave. The thought crosses my mind that maybe I've gotten all I'm going to get out of this experience. I'm still bowing to the Buddha, but mostly for the hamstring stretch. Day 8. I'm on the schedule to see Goldstein this morning. I arrive full piss and vinegar. He'll be the first person I tell about my recent meditation attainments. I practically bound to my seat and give him a full report on my breakthrough, the choiceless awareness, the hummingbird. I don't know what I'm expecting, applause, maybe? As it turns out, he's pretty much unimpressed. He smiles and gently tells me he's heard this story 1,000,000 times. This is like First Retreat 101. I thought I'd achieved a front row seat in the theater of my mind. As you continue your practice, he says, your NPMs, or noticings per minute, will go way up. Then I tell him about the horrific jolt of restlessness from the night before last. Again, his response is, nothing special, happens all the time. It is, he says, not unusual at all to go from bliss to misery within the space of an hour. On my way to the door, he shouts after me and says, I'm moving too fast. You're not being mindful enough, he says. Like a sports coach, he exhorts me to up my game, to pay more attention as I do things like walk and open doors. This is the stuff, he says. In morning question and answer, a woman in the front row asks, if enlightenment is real, where are all the enlightened people? This I'm looking forward to. During the course of this retreat, he has repeatedly dropped words like liberation, awakening, and realization. He starts by acknowledging that for householders or non-monks, the idea of an end to craving can seem unattainable. Can we even imagine a mind free of craving? I think most of us resonate probably more closely with the famous prayer of St. Augustine, "Dear Lord, make me chaste, but not yet." The process starts when the meditator becomes super concentrated. Then their NPMs reach epic velocity. It's like my backbird knee experience, only on steroids. From there, the path, as Goldstein describes it, involves moments of terror, periods of sublime bliss, pitfalls, trapdoors, and detours. The meditator arrives to see the self that we take to be the ridgepole of our lives as an illusion. The real superpower of meditation is not just to manage your ego more mindfully, but to see that the ego itself has no actual substance. The strong, deeply entrenched reference point of I has been seen through, says Goldstein from the front of the room. That's nibbana. The illusion of the self is, per the Buddhists, the wellspring of all our negative emotions, specifically greed and hatred and confusion about the nature of reality, i.e., that we're more than our egos, that we are connected to the whole. Once the self is seen as unreal, these emotions are uprooted from the mind and the meditator becomes perfected. The mind goes from a monkey to a gazelle. Sounds awesome, I guess, but as he concludes, I realize that he hasn't answered any of my most basic questions. If it's so rare and hard to reach enlightenment, why bother trying? Is Goldstein himself enlightened? If not, on what basis does he believe in it? What do enlightened beings look like? Is nirvana nibbana a magical state, a place? Once I've achieved selflessness, do I then just return to my everyday life, or do I no longer need to put on pants in the morning? The Buddhists clearly figured out a workable, practical system for defanging the voice in my head, but to add on top that the promise of a magical transformation seems to me too cute by half. I buy the thesis that nothing in an unreliable, impermanent world can make you sustainably happy. But how will a quest for an enlightenment that almost no one can achieve do so either? When the talk is over, in a minor act of rebellion, I walk down the hall to the dining hall and binge mindlessly on rice cakes. He has such a delightful tone, doesn't he? What really resonates with me from that passage is how things can ebb and flow. So with that in mind, let's begin. You're going to find yourself here on all fours, moving my cushion. I'm just going to double check here that I'm 90 degrees at my shoulders, so I need to come forward just a touch and then move my knees forward just a touch. And I'm going to take a deep breath as soon as I've found a fully solid spine. I want to make sure that there's no curve or arch to start. I want to be engaged from my core. Deep breath in, all the way up. Exhale, spotting your belly button. Deep breath in and exhale. Good. 2 more breaths here. Deep breath in and exhale. Good. Crossing the left foot over. Good. And sitting all the way back. Bringing the left hand, leaving the left hand on the mat and the right hand to reach. Good. Pushing against to push back into the hips here. Deep breath in. Good. Pushing all the way back. Awesome. And coming back up to 90-90, uncrossing the leg, bringing the right leg over, bringing the left to meet, and pushing all the way back into that hip. Good. Deep breath in. And exhale. Deep breath in. And exhale. Good. Finding ourselves back at neutral. We're going to send our hip and our head towards the right. Good. Back to center. Hip and head toward the left. Good. Back to center. I'm going to press up into downward dog. Deep breath in here. Pushing away with the fingertips. Maybe walking that out. Feeling just a light stretch throughout the leg. A few breaths here. Sending the ankles towards the floor. Good. And sending energy through the fingertips. Finding equal weight in both sides of the triangle here. And coming up. Find yourself back on all fours. Good. And returning to the previous sequence. Breathing in towards the right. Exhale, finding center. Good. Coming to sit on the feet here. Excellent. Taking the arms all the way out. Finding goalposts and twisting. Good. Making sure that you have equal weight here on the left and the right hip. And switching other side. Deep breath in. Exhale, finding weight. Deep breath in. Finding length. Exhale, finding weight. Good. And allow the arms to drop. Finding your chin. Reaching down towards the sternum. Straight spine here. Looking all the way up. Maybe sending the chin up towards the sky here. And releasing. Up towards the sky. Good. Bringing the chin back and in. And releasing. Back and in. And releasing. I would encourage you during this time of quarantine, when you're spending so much time on technology, to make sure to return to this neck stretch. I know it feels so funny. It's not good for vanity either. But it's going to help to reverse some of the looking down that we're doing on our phones and the jetting of the neck. Excellent. Let's find ourselves on our cushions now, ready to meditate. Finding a nice long spine here. Deep breath in. Elongate on your exhale. Ground into the floor. Deep breath in. Imagine there's a string attached to the crown of your head. You're being pulled up like a marionette. Finding yourself fully on the central column of the spine. Deep breath in. On the exhale, focus on the groundedness of the hips and the seat bones. Try to take any curve out of the pelvis. Find yourself fully stacked in alignment here. When you're ready, allow your eyes to close. Taking a quick scan of the body here. Beginning at the feet. Just noticing any areas of comfort, discomfort, tension, pain. Now take an opportunity to take an emotional scan. make an account of how you're feeling in this present moment. There is no right or wrong. The intent is simply to notice. Shift your focus now to the breath. If you find it helpful to utilize a mantra, breathe in on fullness, breathe out community. When the mind begins to wander, anchor yourself to the breath. Find yourself increasingly curious about the full experience of each individual inhalation and exhalation. Gently noting, releasing any desire for judgment or self-criticism. Simply opening your awareness to notice the breath. The mind has wandered. Bring it back to the breath. Breathing in fullness, releasing community. Release the focus on the breath now. Allow the mind to notice whatever it pleases. Bringing your attention back to your physical body now. Noticing the weight of your body on your seat bones, the contact with your cushion. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes and allow the eyes to open. Welcome back. This is a time in my practice when I love to find myself lying down on my side, taking an opportunity to rest and restore. If you have a moment now, I hope you will offer yourself that kindness. In our mantra today, we found fullness on our inhalation, and we released into the community. During this time when we are staying home, alone or with family, I've noticed a feeling of loneliness amongst many of my companions. And I hope that as we find this meditation together, you can notice a feeling of fullness within yourself is something that is benefiting others, whether or not you are staying socially distant, as I hope you are. Such a lovely thing to notice how interconnected we are, despite this unprecedented time and the separation we are keeping from one another for safety's sake. I hope you can feel the benefits of your community and all those around you. Thank you for joining me. This has been Sunset Salutations.